How to Reprogram Your Subconscious Mind for Success, published by Imperium Audiobooks. They say your mind is your greatest asset, but what if it's also your biggest limitation? Most people live their entire lives running on mental autopilot, repeating the same patterns, facing the same struggles, and wondering why nothing changes. What they don't realize is that 95% of their thoughts, emotions, and decisions come not from conscious choice, but from the subconscious mind, the part of your brain that's been programmed since childhood, silently dictating your habits, confidence, and even your bank account. This audiobook is your key to rewriting that inner code. How to Reprogram Your Subconscious Mind for Success is not about hype or hollow affirmations. It's about transformation through understanding. You're going to learn how your subconscious was wired, how it quietly shapes your beliefs about money, love, power, and success, and most importantly, how to break free from limiting mental loops that keep you stuck. By the end of this audiobook, you'll have the tools to consciously take control of your inner narrative, to stop reacting and start creating. You'll learn how to plant new beliefs that align with the life you actually want to live. You'll feel more in control, more confident, and more alive. Because when your subconscious works for you, not against you, success stops being a struggle. It becomes your natural state. Now, let's begin. Chapter 1. The hidden programming that runs your life. Every action you take, every choice you make, even the thoughts that seem random, all of it flows from patterns etched deep within your subconscious mind. Think of it like an operating system. When you were a child, every word you heard, every emotion you felt, every experience you went through, it all became data. And that data, over time, became your mental programming. If you were praised for success, your brain linked achievement to love and approval. If you were punished for mistakes, your mind associated risk with pain. If you grew up hearing phrases like money doesn't grow on trees, or people like us never get ahead, those ideas didn't just pass through your ears, they rooted themselves deep within your subconscious. Now, as an adult, those beliefs are still running quietly in the background, influencing your goals, your confidence, and even your income. Here's the truth. Your subconscious doesn't know what's true or false. It only knows what it's told repeatedly. It's like fertile soil. Whatever you plant, good or bad, it will nurture and grow. So if your inner dialogue is filled with self-doubt, fear, or scarcity, your subconscious simply does what it's designed to do. It makes those beliefs real in your life. The problem isn't that you're lazy, unmotivated, or unlucky. It's that your mind is following old instructions. Imagine a computer still running on a decades-old operating system. No matter how hard you press the keys, it will only execute what it was programmed to do. The same applies to your mind. You can't just try harder and expect different results. You need to update your internal code. Reprogramming starts with awareness. You have to see the script you've been living by. When you catch yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough," or "I always mess things up," stop. Don't argue with it. Observe it. That's your subconscious speaking. It's a recording from years ago playing automatically. But once you're aware of it, you're no longer controlled by it. Let's go deeper. Your subconscious thrives on repetition and emotion. It learns through feeling, not logic. That's why one painful experience can outweigh 100 rational explanations. If you failed once and felt humiliated, your subconscious remembers the feeling, not the details. It decides failure equals pain, and does everything in its power to keep you from ever feeling that again, even if that means sabotaging your success. So when you procrastinate, doubt yourself, or give up just before the breakthrough, it's not weakness, it's protection. Your subconscious is trying to keep you safe, based on old data. But safety isn't the same as fulfillment. Growth happens when you teach your subconscious a new language, one that links success with joy, not fear. In this audiobook, you'll learn how to do exactly that. You'll uncover the mental triggers holding you back, Discover how to rewire your emotional associations and install new, empowering beliefs that align with your highest potential. Because here's the secret: your subconscious doesn't resist change. It simply follows the strongest signal. And right now, you have the power to choose what that signal will be. The moment you take control of your inner dialogue, everything changes. Opportunities begin to appear. You find clarity where there was confusion. You feel calm where there was chaos. You start to attract people, ideas and results that match your new state of mind. Success isn't a mystery, it's a pattern, and the pattern begins in your subconscious. So as we move forward, remember this: your thoughts are not just thoughts, they are instructions to your mind. Every belief you repeat, every vision you hold, every affirmation you speak with conviction, it all reprograms the system. You're not broken, you're just running old software. And from this point on, you're going to rewrite it. Chapter 2. Reprogramming the inner voice. The voice inside your head never stops talking. From the moment you wake up to the moment you fall asleep, it comments, criticizes, compares, and questions. Most people think that voice is them, but it's not. It's the echo of your subconscious mind, repeating stories you've absorbed for years. Some of those stories are empowering, but many are toxic, quietly shaping your self-image and your results. If you've ever thought, "I'm not smart enough, I'm too late, I don't deserve success," that wasn't a random thought, that was programming. Those lines were written long ago by parents, teachers, peers, failures, heartbreaks, or even society itself. The tragedy is, most people never challenge those inner scripts. They simply accept them as truth. But what if the only thing standing between you and your full potential is a voice that's been lying to you? Reprogramming begins when you stop believing everything you think. Your inner voice is not a fact. It's a reflection of your conditioning. When you begin to listen to it consciously, you'll realize it often uses fear as a disguise for protection. It tells you not to take risks because you might fail. It tells you to stay quiet because you might be judged. It tells you to settle because real success isn't for people like you. But the real reason it says these things is because it was trained to equate discomfort with danger. The subconscious mind doesn't understand growth. It understands survival. When you step outside your comfort zone, your mind rings alarm bells, not because you're in danger, but because it hasn't seen this version of you before. It's unfamiliar, so it resists. But unfamiliar isn't unsafe. In fact, that's where transformation begins. Let's get practical. To reprogram your inner voice, you must first become aware of its patterns. For a few days, observe your self-talk like a scientist. When you're about to start something new, launch a project, speak up, or commit to a goal, listen closely. What does the voice say? Maybe it whispers, "You're not ready," or "Who are you to try this?" Write these thoughts down. Don't argue with them, just see them. Awareness dissolves their power. Once you've identified the recurring beliefs, the next step is to interrupt and replace. You can't erase a thought, but you can override it. Each time the voice says, "I can't do this," consciously respond, "I am learning how to do this." When it says, "I always fail," counter with, "Every setback prepares me for success." It might feel fake at first. That's normal. You're not trying to lie to yourself. You're retraining your brain to see new possibilities. Here's something most people miss. It's not the words that change you, it's the emotion behind them. The subconscious learns through feeling, not logic. That's why affirmations spoken without conviction rarely work. If you want to reprogram your mind, you must feel the truth of what you're saying. Imagine it vividly. Feel the confidence, the excitement, the gratitude. When you attach emotion to your new beliefs, the subconscious accepts them faster because emotion is the language it understands. Visualization is another powerful tool. Every successful athlete, entrepreneur and leader uses it, whether they know it or not. The subconscious doesn't distinguish between imagination and reality. It reacts to the pictures you create. When you vividly imagine yourself succeeding, closing the deal, performing flawlessly, or living with confidence, your mind begins to align your behavior with that vision. It starts looking for ways to make it real. But visualization isn't daydreaming, it's rehearsal. See yourself as if it's already done. Feel the emotions, engage your senses, picture the environment, hear the sounds, and taste the victory. The more real it feels, the deeper it embeds in your subconscious. Do this daily, ideally, right before sleep or after waking, when your mind is most suggestible. Now let's address something vital. Self-talk is contagious. The way you speak to yourself becomes the tone of your entire life. If your inner dialogue is full of doubt, your actions will reflect hesitation. If it's full of belief, your actions will reflect confidence. That's why people who seem effortlessly successful often aren't luckier. They simply have a more empowering conversation running in their heads. Reprogramming your inner voice doesn't happen overnight. It's like strengthening a muscle. The old patterns will resist at first because they've been reinforced for years. But with consistency, something shifts. One day you'll catch yourself thinking positively, without effort. You'll face a challenge and automatically hear a voice that says, "You've got this." That's the sign your subconscious is finally aligned with your conscious intention. And when that happens, momentum becomes natural. You start making bolder decisions, taking more action, and attracting better outcomes, not because the world changed, but because you did. Understand this. The subconscious doesn't care whether you choose thoughts of power or limitation. It will make both real. You are the programmer. Every word, every image, every belief you choose to repeat becomes part of your code. So make your self-talk sacred. Don't speak defeat into your future. Don't joke about failure. Don't declare limitations. Every time you say, "I can't," you instruct your subconscious to make it true. From now on, your new inner voice must be intentional, clear, and empowering. It should speak like a mentor, not a critic. When fear whispers, you answer with faith. When doubt rises, you answer with determination. When uncertainty looms, you remind yourself, you've reprogrammed your mind for success. This is the real beginning of transformation. Once your inner voice becomes your ally, instead of your enemy, nothing outside of you can stop your growth. Because the moment your thoughts align with your vision, the universe begins to move in your favor. And that's the true power of mastering your subconscious. You stop fighting yourself. You stop hesitating. You begin to live with intention, confidence, and clarity. You are not the voice of fear. You are the one who decides what that voice will say next. Chapter 3. The Science of Belief and Identity Reprogramming. Every action you take, every goal you pursue, and every limit you encounter can be traced back to one source: your identity. You don't behave according to what you want. You behave according to who you believe you are. That's why so many people set goals but never reach them. Their conscious mind says, "I want success," but their subconscious quietly responds, "That's not who I am." Until those two align, your progress will always feel like running in sand. If you've ever made a resolution that faded in weeks, it's not because you're lazy or weak-willed. It's because your identity wasn't ready for the change. You can't outperform your self-image. You can only expand it. The subconscious mind is fiercely loyal to who it thinks you are. It will protect that identity, even if it's self-destructive, because its mission is consistency, not happiness. The real transformation begins when you stop chasing results and start reshaping identity. Let's break this down. The subconscious mind forms identity through repetition and emotion. Every time you tell yourself, "I'm not good with money," or "I'm not confident," your brain takes note. The more often you repeat those statements, especially with emotion, the deeper they become etched into your mental blueprint. Soon they stop being thoughts and become truths. Your subconscious builds your reality around them, filtering every experience to confirm what it already believes. This is why two people can face the same opportunity, and one will see possibility, while the other sees risk. They're not reacting to reality, they're reacting to their programming. The first has an identity wired for success, the second is stuck in survival mode. But here's the liberating truth: identity is not fixed. Neuroscience proves that the brain is plastic. Every belief, habit, and behavior can be rewired through consistent focus and new emotional experiences. In other words, you can literally train your brain to believe in a new version of yourself. Start with this principle: you become what you repeatedly tell yourself you are. If you constantly identify as someone who struggles, who's unlucky, or who never gets a break, your subconscious ensures your world matches that identity. But the moment you begin saying, "I'm a person who learns quickly, I'm disciplined, I follow through," the mind begins searching for evidence to support that. It's not wishful thinking, it's neurological conditioning. The brain's reticular activating system RAS filters billions of bits of information every second. It decides what you notice, what you ignore, and what opportunities you recognize. It does this based on your beliefs. So when you consciously install a new identity, your subconscious recalibrates your attention to align with it. For example, when you buy a new car, you suddenly start seeing that model everywhere. Did the number of cars increase overnight? Of course not. Your brain just tuned into something it previously ignored. The same thing happens with success. The moment you redefine yourself as a capable, focused, and confident person, your RAS begins revealing paths, people, and possibilities that were invisible before. To reprogram your identity, you must act as if, not to fake confidence, but to train familiarity. The subconscious resists change because it's unfamiliar, not because it's impossible. The more you act in alignment with your desired identity, the safer it feels to your brain. Over time, it stops perceiving success as a threat and begins accepting it as normal. That's when transformation locks in. This is why affirmations, on their own, are often not enough. If you declare, "I am wealthy," but your daily habits scream scarcity, your subconscious sees the contradiction. You can't say your way into a new life. You must live your way into it. Action proves belief. Every small decision that aligns with your new identity strengthens it. Even something as simple as waking up earlier, speaking confidently, or following through on your word. Here's a powerful exercise to accelerate identity reprogramming. Write down the version of yourself who has already achieved what you desire. Be specific. How does that person think? How do they walk, talk, and make decisions? What do they tolerate? And what do they no longer accept? And then, every morning, read that description and step into it consciously. Don't wait until you feel ready. Feelings follow action, not the other way around. At first your subconscious will resist. It'll whisper, "That's not you." But every time you choose the new identity over the old one, the neural connections associated with your old self begin to weaken. This is called synaptic pruning. Meanwhile, the connections supporting your new self strengthen through neuroplasticity. It's like forging a new mental path. The more you walk it, the smoother it becomes until one day it's automatic. Understand this: reprogramming your identity isn't about becoming someone else. It's about returning to the most empowered version of yourself, the one buried under years of conditioning, fear, and self-doubt. When you fully embrace this process, something extraordinary happens. External validation loses its power. You stop chasing approval because you've already built internal certainty. The world senses that. People respond differently. Opportunities seem to find you. but they're not new. You've simply become the kind of person who notices and acts on them. Here's the truth most never hear. Success doesn't require effort forever. It requires alignment. When your beliefs, thoughts, and actions align, progress feels effortless. The grind fades because your identity naturally produces success-driven behavior. That's what it means to be reprogrammed. Not forcing yourself to change, but becoming the person for whom success is natural. And the more you reinforce that identity, the more your subconscious helps you. It begins predicting success instead of failure. It gives you intuitive nudges that guide you toward the right choices. It turns self-discipline into instinct. That's not magic. That's mastery of your inner world. The greatest prison you'll ever escape is the version of yourself that settled for less. But freedom begins with a choice. The choice to believe in something higher, stronger, and truer within you. Every time you choose to act like your future self, you dissolve another layer of limitation. Reprogramming your subconscious is not about speed. It's about consistency. Even the smallest new belief, repeated with emotion and reinforced with action, becomes your new truth. And when your truth changes, your world changes. Your identity is the foundation of everything. You can't build a millionaire's life on a mindset of scarcity, or a leader's legacy on an identity of fear. The mind creates first. Reality follows. So choose wisely. Speak your identity into existence. Live it daily, and refuse to go back. The old you was built by accident. The new you will be built by design. And that's when your subconscious finally becomes your greatest ally, not your biggest obstacle. Chapter 4. Rewiring Beliefs Through Emotion, Repetition, and Visualization. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your beliefs. Your subconscious mind doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you believe to be true. If, deep down, you believe success is for others, not for you, then every opportunity will slip through your fingers no matter how hard you try. You'll self-sabotage, procrastinate, or hesitate just long enough for your old reality to stay intact. The subconscious is not logical, it's emotional. It learns through feeling, not reason. You can't argue your way into a new belief system. You have to feel your way into it. That's why people can know intellectually that they deserve better, yet still live small. The conscious mind says, "I'm worthy," but the emotional body still remembers rejection, failure, or shame. Until those emotional patterns are rewired, your subconscious will protect the familiar pain instead of allowing unfamiliar success. The process of rewiring your beliefs requires 3 elements: emotion, repetition, and visualization. When combined, these 3 forces create new neural pathways powerful enough to override old conditioning. Let's break them down. 1. Emotion. The language of the subconscious emotion is the amplifier of belief. Whatever you feel intensely, fear, gratitude, pride, or passion, imprints deeply on your subconscious. Think back to your strongest memories. They're not remembered because of detail, but because of how they made you feel. Emotion tells the brain, "This matters. Remember this." That's why fear-based experiences stick so strongly. They shape identity because the subconscious sees them as survival lessons. But here's the secret. The same mechanism can work for you, not against you. When you pair powerful positive emotion with new beliefs, your mind absorbs them as truth. For example, saying, "I am confident" without emotion is weak. But saying it with conviction, standing tall, breathing deeply, imagining yourself radiating certainty, tells your subconscious, "This is real." The emotion makes the statement believable. That's why rituals matter. Play music that stirs your spirit. Speak affirmations in front of a mirror with energy. Move your body as you declare new beliefs. The more you embody the emotion, the faster the belief locks in. The subconscious doesn't distinguish between vividly imagined emotion and real experience. It responds to the feeling. Emotion is your key to rewriting the story. 2. Repetition, the pathway of mastery. The subconscious mind doesn't change overnight. It learns through consistency, not intensity. One emotional burst is not enough. You have to reinforce the new pattern again and again until it becomes natural. Think of your beliefs like paths in a forest. Old limiting beliefs are wide, well-traveled roads, easy to walk because you've gone down them 1,000 times. New empowering beliefs start as faint trails. Only through repetition do they become highways. Repetition doesn't mean robotic chanting. It means immersing yourself in your new reality daily. Read your affirmations morning and night. Write them down, speak them out loud, record them and listen while you sleep. Surround yourself with reminders, vision boards, quotes, or even wallpapers that trigger the new identity. Consistency is the hammer that shapes identity. Every day you repeat a belief with emotion, your subconscious accepts it a little more. Eventually, it stops feeling like a lie and starts feeling like who you've always been. Here's what most people get wrong. They give up too soon. They think the affirmation isn't working because their life hasn't changed yet. But your outer world is just a delayed reflection of your inner programming. The mind changes first, then reality follows. Keep repeating the new belief until it feels boring. That's when it's finally sinking in. 3. Visualization, the blueprint of the future. Visualization is the subconscious mind's native language. The brain doesn't distinguish between imagination and real experience. When you visualize something vividly, your brain fires the same neural circuits as if you were actually living it. Olympic athletes, top entrepreneurs, and elite performers all use this tool because the subconscious believes what it sees repeatedly. When you visualize success, you're not pretending. You're training your nervous system for the reality you're creating. You're teaching your subconscious how it feels to win, how it feels to be confident, how it feels to live your dream. But here's the crucial part. You must feel it. Visualization without emotion is daydreaming. Visualization with emotion is reprogramming. Imagine yourself already there, not wanting success but embodying it. See yourself walking with certainty, making confident decisions, hearing people praise your growth, feeling proud of who you've become. Engage all your senses. What do you see, hear, smell, and touch in that future? The more real it feels, the faster it imprints. Your subconscious works in pictures, not words. That's why an image can trigger motivation or fear instantly. When you give it new, vivid imagery, tied to strong emotion, it rewrites your inner map. The integration process, to truly rewire your subconscious, combine all three forces, emotion, repetition, and visualization, into a daily ritual. Here's a simple framework that transforms belief into identity. Start with gratitude. It raises your emotional vibration and opens your mind to new possibilities. Speak your new identity aloud. For example, I am disciplined. I am confident. I am unstoppable. Feel it. Visualize yourself living as that person. See your success clearly, not as a wish, but as your reality. Anchor the feeling. Take a deep breath and let the emotion sink in. Tell your mind, this is who I am now. Repeat daily, morning, night, and whenever doubt creeps in. Your mind learns through experience, and repetition creates experience. The more often you live this new mental movie, the more real it becomes to your subconscious. The science behind it, neuroscience, confirms that neurons that fire together wire together. When you repeatedly think, feel, and act in alignment with a new belief, your brain literally builds stronger neural connections around that pattern. This is called neuroplasticity. Over time, the old self-image fades because those unused neural connections weaken. MRI scans of people practicing visualization show the same brain activity as those physically performing the action. This means you can mentally rehearse success until your brain becomes conditioned for it. The subconscious begins to expect victory, not fear it. When belief, emotion and action align, change becomes inevitable. The emotional truth about transformation. Let's be honest, rewiring your beliefs isn't always comfortable. You'll face resistance, not from the world but from within. The old self will fight for survival. It will whisper, "This feels fake." But remember, discomfort is not a sign of failure. It's the feeling of growth. Every time you choose a new thought over an old one, you're reshaping identity. The subconscious doesn't change through effort. It changes through acceptance. When you stop identifying with the old story and start acting from the new one, transformation happens naturally. The key is emotional repetition, not forcing belief, but feeling it until it becomes true. A final reminder, you are not broken, you are programmed. And every program can be rewritten. Your thoughts are not random, they are learned. Your limitations are not permanent, they are patterns. The power to rewrite them is within you. Start small, stay consistent, and let repetition work its quiet magic. One day you'll wake up and realize the beliefs that once held you back no longer feel familiar. You'll look around and see a life that finally matches the way you see yourself inside. That's not coincidence. That's the result of conscious reprogramming. Chapter 5. The Hidden Power of Self-Talk. How to speak to your mind like a master. Every day you are talking to yourself. You're doing it when you wake up, when you look in the mirror, when you work, when you fail, when you win. Your mind is in constant conversation, and that conversation is shaping your destiny. Most people never realize that the most influential voice in their life is not from the outside. It's the quiet one inside that says, "I can" or "I can't." Self-talk is the language of your subconscious. It's how you instruct your mind on who you are and what you deserve. And because the subconscious mind takes your words literally, it believes whatever you repeat most often, whether it's empowering or destructive. When you say, "I'm not good enough," your subconscious doesn't argue. It simply agrees, adjusts your behavior, and filters opportunities to match that identity. This is why mastering your self-talk is not motivational fluff. It's mental architecture. You're either building yourself up or tearing yourself down with every word. 1. The dialogue that defines your reality. Take a moment to reflect on your internal dialogue. How do you speak to yourself when you make a mistake? Do you say, "It's okay, I'll learn"? Or do you attack yourself with, "I'm such an idiot"? The words that follow "I am" are sacred. They are commands to your subconscious. When you say, "I am tired," your energy drops. When you say, "I am focused," your body aligns with alertness. The subconscious doesn't analyze, it obeys. This is why you must guard your self-talk with the same vigilance you'd use to protect your home from an intruder. Because negative self-talk is mental sabotage disguised as honesty. You think you're being realistic, but in truth, you're reinforcing limitation. The goal isn't to ignore flaws or mistakes. It's to describe them in a way that empowers growth. Instead of, "I'm terrible at this," say, "I'm still learning this skill." Instead of, "I always mess things up," say, "I'm improving every day." One word change can shift your entire trajectory. Language shapes emotion, emotion shapes action, action shapes results, and results reinforce identity. That's the loop, and it all begins with self-talk. 2. The inner critic versus the inner coach inside you. Two voices compete for dominance. The inner critic and the inner coach. The critic is loud, impatient, and fueled by fear. It says, "You'll never make it." It remembers every failure and magnifies every flaw. The coach, however, is calm, encouraging, and realistic. It says, "You've come far. Keep going." Most people live under the tyranny of their inner critic because it feels familiar. But here's the truth. The critic isn't evil. It's just misguided. Its purpose is protection. It learned to warn you so you wouldn't get hurt again. But now, it's overprotective, keeping you small, not safe. The way to silence the critic isn't to fight it. It's to retrain it. When that voice says, "You'll fail," respond with, "Even if I do, I'll learn and grow stronger." When it says, "You're not ready," reply, "Maybe not yet, but I'm getting ready every day." Over time, the critic becomes quieter, not because it disappears, but because you've replaced its authority with confidence. Speak to yourself like someone you're responsible for helping, because you are. 3. The science of words and identity psychology calls it the self-fulfilling prophecy. When you believe something strongly enough, your behavior unconsciously aligns to make it true. Neuroscience explains this through the reticular activating system RAS, the brain's filter that decides what you notice and what you ignore. If you constantly tell yourself, "I'm unlucky," your RAS filters out opportunities that contradict that belief. You literally stop seeing chances for success. But when you start saying, "I attract opportunities," your brain begins scanning your environment for evidence that supports it. You start noticing ideas, people, and timing that were always there. You just weren't tuned in before. Your self-talk programs your perception, and perception creates your world. That's why the most powerful people in the world guard their language. They don't say, "I can't." They say, "How can I?" They don't say, "I'm stuck." They say, "I'm learning to move forward." They understand that the brain is a loyal servant. Whatever you command it with words, it will find proof for. So stop giving it orders that destroy you. Start giving it commands that align with your vision. 4. Transforming negative self-talk into power. To reprogram your inner dialogue, you must first become aware of it. You can't change what you don't notice. Spend a single day observing your self-talk. Catch the moments when you're harsh, dismissive, or doubtful. Don't judge yourself. Just notice. Awareness is the beginning of transformation. Once you catch the pattern, use the flip technique. Hear the statement, "I'll never be successful." Challenge it. Is that true, or just something I've repeated? Flip it. "I'm learning what it takes to be successful." Each time you flip a negative thought, you interrupt the old pattern and create a new one. The more you practice, the faster your subconscious learns the new script. Another powerful method is identity-based self-talk. Instead of saying, "I will be confident," say, "I am becoming more confident every day." The difference seems small, but it's massive to your subconscious. "I will" implies distance. "I am becoming" implies motion, and the subconscious always follows identity, not intention. 5. Speak your future into existence. You are not just describing your life with your words, you are creating it. Words are seeds. Speak abundance, and abundance grows. Speak limitation, and it multiplies. The subconscious doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. It only knows repetition and emotion. That means you can literally speak your future into being, but only if you speak from the version of yourself who already lives it. Stop saying, "I hope I succeed." Say, "I am built for success." Stop saying, "I wish I could change." Say, "I am changing right now." The more you affirm your desired identity, the faster your subconscious conforms to it. And once your subconscious believes something, it becomes inevitable. 6. The daily self-talk ritual. Here's a practical exercise to reprogram your inner voice. Morning activation. As soon as you wake up, place your hand on your heart and say 5 affirmations out loud that define your new identity. Example: I am confident. I am focused. I am calm under pressure. I am a magnet for success. I am in control of my destiny. Midday reset. Whenever stress hits, Take a deep breath and say, I choose peace, I choose clarity, I choose strength. This breaks the spiral of negative chatter. Nighttime reprogramming. Before sleep, replay your day and find one thing you did right. Acknowledge it out loud. Then say, I am proud of myself. I'm growing. I'm getting better. Fall asleep with those words in your mind. Your subconscious will absorb them as truth overnight. Do this for 21 days straight, and you'll notice something shift. Your tone will change. Your thoughts will soften. You'll start catching yourself mid-sentence and choosing different words. That's when you'll know the reprogramming has begun. 7. The voice of a winner. Winners aren't people who never doubt themselves. They're people who've learned to talk themselves through doubt. When fear whispers, what if you fail? They answer, then I'll learn and rise again. When exhaustion says, you can't keep going, they respond, I've gone through worse. I can handle this too. They treat self-talk like a weapon, precise, intentional, and always aimed at victory. Because they understand this truth, your words don't just describe your limits. They define them. Change your language, and you change your life. Final thought. Your subconscious mind is always listening. Speak to it like you're shaping destiny, because you are. You have the power to rewrite the story, not by force, but by frequency. Every word you speak is a brushstroke on the canvas of your identity. The old voice that doubted you is fading. The new voice, the voice of power, clarity, and faith, is rising. Keep speaking it until it becomes your default, because one day, it won't be self-talk anymore. It will simply be who you are. Chapter 6. Breaking free from the subconscious fear of success. You might not realize it, but deep inside you, there's a quiet resistance to success. It's not laziness. It's not a lack of intelligence. It's fear. A fear you didn't choose consciously, but one that has been programmed into you over time. Many people say they want success, but few are actually ready for what comes with it. Because success, real success, changes things. It demands more of you, challenges your identity, and sometimes even separates you from the world you once knew. And deep down, your subconscious mind, which craves safety and predictability, will do almost anything to stop that change. It's not that you fear success itself. You fear what success will cost. 1. The invisible chain that holds you back. Every time you set a big goal and then suddenly lose motivation, self-sabotage creeps in. Distractions appear. Procrastination takes over. Excuses start to sound reasonable. That's not random. That's your subconscious stepping in to protect you from what it perceives as danger. To the subconscious, change equals risk. It doesn't distinguish between emotional risk and physical danger. The same mechanism that once kept your ancestors safe from wild predators now keeps you safe from the unknown territory of success. Your mind whispers, what if you fail publicly? What if people judge you? What if you can't handle the pressure? What if you lose yourself? So instead of stepping forward, you unconsciously hold yourself back. You miss opportunities not because you're unlucky, but because part of you believes that growth will bring pain. This invisible chain is the fear of success, and breaking it begins with awareness. 2. The subconscious blueprint of comfort. You have an inner thermostat for success. Just like a thermostat in a room keeps the temperature constant, your subconscious keeps your life within a comfort zone. When things go too well, you find ways to bring them back down, just enough to feel familiar again. This explains why people often rise to a certain level and then mysteriously stall. The subconscious doesn't care about your dreams. It cares about your identity, who you believe you are. If that identity doesn't match someone successful, it will sabotage your progress until you realign with the familiar. That's why sudden success often feels uncomfortable. People say they want abundance, yet when it comes, they start worrying they'll lose it. They crave recognition, But when attention comes, they feel exposed. The subconscious is saying, "This isn't who we are." To break this, you must consciously expand your comfort zone by updating your inner identity. You must teach your mind that success is not dangerous. It's safe, it's natural, and it's yours. 3. The hidden beliefs that create fear. To reprogram this, you must first identify the beliefs that are anchoring you in fear. Here are a few of the most common subconscious scripts that limit success. Success will make people hate me. If you grew up seeing others judged or envied for their success, you might associate achievement with isolation. I don't deserve it. A belief rooted in guilt or low self-worth. You believe others are more deserving, so you reject opportunities unconsciously. If I win, someone else loses. This is a scarcity mindset. It assumes success is a limited resource. But the truth is, success expands the world for everyone. If I fail, I'll lose everything. Perfectionism in disguise. You avoid risks to protect your image, but end up protecting your limits. Every one of these beliefs can be reprogrammed, but first you have to see them, write them down, acknowledge them, bring them to the surface, because your subconscious loses power the moment it's exposed to light. The emotional price of growth. Growth hurts because it forces you to release the version of yourself that once felt safe. Success demands that you outgrow old beliefs, old environments, and sometimes old relationships. Your subconscious mind links this loss with emotional pain. That's why so many people subconsciously resist their next level, not because they can't reach it, but because they fear who they'll have to become to stay there. But here's the paradox. Every version of you that's waiting in the future can only appear after you let go of the one holding you back. You can't step into a new identity while clinging to the comfort of the old one. The process will feel uncomfortable, like stretching muscles you've never used before. But that's the sign of expansion, not danger. When fear whispers, "What if it all goes wrong?" answer with, "What if it all goes right?" 5. Training the subconscious to feel safe with success. Here's the truth. Success doesn't scare your subconscious. Change does. So your goal is to make success feel familiar. Start small. Visualize yourself achieving your goals not as a fantasy, but as a daily normality. See yourself earning more, working with purpose, waking up confident, not once but every day. Next, connect pleasure to the process of growth. Your subconscious is motivated by emotion. Celebrate small wins. Reward yourself for consistent effort, not just big achievements. Teach your mind that progress feels good. And most importantly, speak to yourself as if you already belong in that higher space. The subconscious learns through repetition. The more you affirm, "I am ready for success," "I am comfortable with growth," "I am worthy of abundance," the faster it adapts. In time, your subconscious begins to see success not as a threat, but as your natural environment. 6. Redefine success on your terms. Much of the fear surrounding success comes from inherited definitions. Society taught you that success must look a certain way: a big house, a luxury car, constant busyness, endless achievement. But what if your subconscious is rebelling because that's not the life it truly wants? You must redefine success in alignment with your values. Maybe success for you means freedom, peace, creativity, impact, or balance. When you redefine success in a way that aligns with your soul, your subconscious no longer resists, it supports. It says, "This feels right." So take time to rewrite the narrative. Finish this sentence. Success to me means living a life where When your definition of success becomes authentic, you remove the inner conflict between desire and safety. That's when your progress accelerates, effortlessly. 7. From fear to flow. The opposite of fear isn't courage, it's trust. Trust in yourself, trust in your path, trust that you can handle whatever success brings. Fear says,
What if I can't? Trust says, I'll figure it out. The more you trust, the more your subconscious relaxes. It stops clinging to safety and begins moving in rhythm with your goals. That's when success stops feeling forced. It starts flowing. Every great achiever has reached this state. They don't fight their subconscious, they align it. They've taught their minds that success isn't a destination to fear but a state of being to live from. And now, so will you. Final thought: you were not born to play small. The fear you feel isn't proof that you're weak. It's proof that you're expanding beyond what you've known. That trembling inside you, it's your old self fading. Success is not something you chase. It's something you grow into. And to grow, you must let go of fear, of doubt, of the false stories your subconscious has been repeating. You are safe in success. You are built for abundance. You are ready for more. So take the next step. Step boldly into your next level, not because you've conquered fear, but because you've learned to move forward with it. Because the moment you stop running from success is the moment it starts running toward you.
Chapter 7. How to create a success identity that reprograms your future. If you want to change your life permanently, you must stop trying to change your actions and start changing your identity. Because here's the truth: you can't outperform the identity you hold in your subconscious mind. You can push yourself, hustle, set goals, and stay motivated for a while, but if deep down you still see yourself as average, unworthy, or unlucky, then your results will always return to match that internal image. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. So the real secret to reprogramming your subconscious mind for success is this: create an identity that naturally produces the results you desire. 1. The law of identity. Everything in your life right now, your habits, your income, your relationships, your confidence, is a reflection of one thing: the kind of person you believe yourself to be. If you believe you're disciplined, you'll act in disciplined ways. If you believe you're confident, you'll take confident actions. If you believe success just isn't for you, your subconscious will find ways to make that true. Your identity acts as the command center of your subconscious mind. It decides what feels normal, and you always return to what feels normal. That's why people who win the lottery often lose it all, and why those who lose everything can rebuild from scratch. The difference isn't luck, it's identity. 2. How your identity was formed. Your current self-image wasn't chosen, it was programmed. It came from your childhood, your environment, your culture, your failures, and your repeated thoughts. Every experience that carried strong emotion became a piece of your subconscious identity. Maybe you were told, money doesn't grow on trees, or you're not the type to lead, or don't dream too big. Each statement, repeated enough times, turned into truth inside your subconscious. But the good news is this: if identity was programmed, it can be reprogrammed. And that begins by consciously building a new self-concept, one that aligns with the life you're creating, not the life you've outgrown. 3. The power of I am. 2 of the most powerful words in the universe are, I am. Whatever follows those words shapes your destiny. When you say, I am disciplined, I am confident, I am a magnet for success, you are not just speaking affirmations, you are giving your subconscious new instructions about who you are. But the key is not to say it once, it's to live it repeatedly. Your subconscious doesn't listen to logic, it listens to evidence. So each time you act in alignment with your new I am, you feed your subconscious proof, and with enough proof, it begins to rewrite the old code. Identity isn't changed by saying I am, it's changed by becoming I am. 4. The 3 layers of transformation. Most people try to change their life on the surface level, through behavior. They say, I'll start going to the gym, I'll start reading, I'll start saving money. But behavior change without identity change never lasts. There are 3 layers of transformation. Outcome, what you want. The results, for example, lose 10 pounds, earn $100K, start a business. Process, what you do. The habits and systems, for example, workout routine, study plan, daily actions. Identity, who you believe you are. The core self-image, for example, I am fit, I am successful, I am focused. Most people stay stuck at layer 1. They chase outcomes while still identifying as the old version of themselves. But real, lasting success happens when you reverse it, when you change your identity first. Don't ask, what do I need to do to succeed? Ask, who do I need to become to succeed? Because once you shift the who, the what follows naturally. 5. Building the new you. Here's how to begin constructing your new identity step by step. Step 1. Choose your new self-image. Define who you want to be in clear emotional terms. Say, I am the kind of person who follows through. I am the kind of person who doesn't wait for motivation. I am the kind of person who attracts opportunities. The more specific you are, the easier it becomes for your subconscious to understand and adapt. Step 2. Feed it with repetition. Your subconscious learns through repetition and emotion. Speak your identity daily, morning, night, and especially when you feel doubt creeping in. You're not pretending, you're reminding. Step 3. Act in alignment. Every small action that supports your new identity becomes evidence. When you exercise even when you don't feel like it, you're proving I am disciplined. When you speak up in a meeting, you're proving I am confident. These micro-evidences stack until the subconscious accepts the new truth. Step 4. Eliminate contradictions. Stop reinforcing the old identity with language like, I'm so lazy, I never stick to things. That's just how I am. Every time you say those words, you reprogram the past. Replace them with empowering alternatives that affirm your new self. Step 5. Anchor it emotionally. Emotion is the glue that locks identity into your subconscious. When you feel the emotion of your new identity, pride, confidence, certainty, it accelerates the reprogramming. Imagine yourself as that person, feel it, live it, and soon your outer world will mirror it. 6. The subconscious mirror. Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. It simply responds to whatever image you hold most consistently. So when you visualize yourself succeeding, not wishing, but experiencing, your subconscious begins to reorganize your beliefs, habits, and focus to make that image real. Every visualization is a rehearsal for the life you're creating. The more you mentally rehearse success, the less resistance you'll feel when it arrives, because your subconscious will already recognize it as familiar. You become the person who belongs there. 7. Letting go of the old self. You can't become the new you while clinging to the old you. That means letting go of stories like, I've always struggled, people like me never make it. It's too late. Those are not facts. They're memories you've mistaken for identity. Every time you repeat them, you strengthen them. Every time you release them, you weaken them. You are not your past. You are the program that runs your past. And that program can be rewritten. So forgive yourself. Release the guilt, the shame, the missed opportunities. Those were lessons, not life sentences. The new identity you're building isn't fake. It's the truest version of you that's been buried beneath fear and conditioning. 8. Living from the future. Most people live from memory. They recreate their past every day. But successful people live from vision. They mentally live in their future until it becomes their present. That's how reprogramming works. Wake up and act like the person who already has what you desire. Make decisions from your future, not your history. Speak as if it's already done.
Because to the subconscious mind, what you believe now becomes what you experience next. Final thought: your life will always rise or fall to the level of your identity. So if you want a new reality, stop fighting the old one and start becoming someone who naturally attracts the new one. You don't have to fake it till you make it. You simply have to be it until you see it. When your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors align with your chosen identity, your subconscious rewires automatically. Success stops being a struggle. It becomes your baseline. And one day, you'll wake up, look around, and realize the person you dreamed of becoming is the person you already are.
Chapter 8. Repetition and Emotion. The Secret Language of the Subconscious. Your subconscious mind is not logical. It doesn't understand complex reasoning, long explanations, or even good intentions. It speaks in emotion and repetition, two forces that have shaped every belief you hold, every habit you repeat, and every fear that holds you back. This chapter reveals how those two elements, when understood and used with precision, can become the most powerful tools in your transformation. They are the secret codes that unlock the subconscious, the levers that can reshape your inner programming permanently. The subconscious doesn't respond to words. It responds to feeling. You can tell yourself, "I am successful," 100 times, but if deep down you feel broke, your subconscious won't buy it. That's because your subconscious doesn't process reality through logic or language. It only listens to the emotional vibration behind what you say. You've probably noticed this before. When you try to affirm something you don't yet believe, there's tension inside you. That resistance is your subconscious rejecting the message, because it conflicts with your emotional truth. The secret is not to fight it, but to bridge it. To reprogram your subconscious, you must bring your affirmations to life emotionally, as if they were already true. When you say, "I am confident," feel the energy of confidence in your body. When you say, "I am wealthy," allow your mind to step into the sensation of abundance, the calm, secure, expanded feeling that comes with it. You're not pretending. You're teaching your subconscious a new emotional frequency. And over time, that frequency becomes your new normal. 2. Repetition. The key to permanent programming. Think of your subconscious like fertile soil. Every thought, every emotion, every experience is a seed planted in that soil. But only the thoughts and emotions repeated most often take root and grow. That's why your old beliefs feel so real. They've been repeated, consciously or unconsciously, thousands of times. Every "I can't," every "I'm not enough," every "maybe later," each one watered the same limiting root system beneath your awareness. The only way to replace those old programs is through consistent, intentional repetition of new thoughts that carry emotion. This is not about fake positivity or surface-level motivation. It's about reconditioning your mind through frequency and intensity. Here's the formula. Repetition plus emotion equals subconscious imprint. The more you repeat a belief with genuine emotion, the deeper it goes. The more you reinforce it daily, the faster it becomes automatic. And when it becomes automatic, it becomes you. 3. The science of repetition. Neuroscience calls this process neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself through repeated thought patterns. When you think a thought with strong emotion, neurons fire together and create a connection. The more often you fire that connection, the stronger it becomes. Eventually, it becomes your brain's default pathway, a subconscious habit of thought. That's why change feels hard at first. Your old pathways are strong, and your new ones are weak. But with repetition, the old pathways begin to atrophy, while the new ones grow stronger. Your subconscious doesn't care whether the thought is positive or negative. It simply strengthens whatever you feed it most often. So if you want to become unstoppable, you must discipline yourself to feed your subconscious the same new message until it becomes unquestioned truth.
4. The power of emotional anchors. Every major transformation in your life began with emotion. You changed because something moved you. A moment of frustration, inspiration, love, or pain. Emotion acts as a mental glue. It tells the subconscious, this matters. Remember this. That's why visualization and affirmation must never be robotic. You can't just repeat words. You must feel them. When you visualize yourself succeeding, don't see it from a distance. Step into the scene. See through your own eyes. Feel your heartbeat, the pride in your chest, the calm satisfaction of mastery. Make it so emotionally real that your subconscious can't tell whether it's memory or imagination, because to your subconscious, there is no difference. That's the essence of emotional anchoring, linking the desired belief to a powerful feeling, so your brain begins to treat it as reality. 5. Breaking the old emotional codes. Your current limitations are not logical, they're emotional. Every fear, doubt, or hesitation is tied to a past emotional experience. Maybe you failed once, and the embarrassment burned itself into your memory. Maybe someone you trusted told you that success was dangerous or prideful. Maybe you were taught that you had to struggle to be worthy. These emotional imprints became rules your subconscious still follows. To reprogram them, you must first neutralize the emotion that gave them power. Here's how. Bring it to awareness. Feel the emotion behind the belief. Don't run from it. Observe it. Separate from it. Remind yourself that emotion is energy. It is not who you are. Replace it. Create a new emotional experience that contradicts the old one. A moment of courage, self-trust, or gratitude. Over time, the new emotion rewrites the old emotional code. And when that happens, the belief dissolves effortlessly. 6. The rhythm of reprogramming. There's a rhythm to subconscious transformation, a pattern that follows consistency. In the beginning, the old beliefs resist. You'll feel doubt, fatigue, and the temptation to quit. Then you'll start noticing subtle shifts, new thoughts emerging, old reactions losing power. Eventually, you'll cross a threshold, the moment when the new belief feels more real than the old one. That's when reprogramming is complete. But this process requires patience. You can't rush it any more than you can rush a seed to grow. That's why daily repetition, morning, night, and throughout the day, is essential. Each time you repeat your new truth, you're watering the roots of your new reality. Even when you don't see results yet, know this, your subconscious is listening, and soon it will respond. 7. Emotional visualization, the ultimate technique to speed up your reprogramming. Combine repetition and emotion in one practice. Emotional visualization. Here's how. Close your eyes and imagine your desired reality as vividly as possible. Feel gratitude as if it's already done. Breathe into that emotion until it feels real. Repeat this for 5 minutes daily, ideally before sleep and upon waking. These 2 times are powerful because your brain operates in alpha and theta states, the same states where the subconscious is most suggestible. Over time, your visualization becomes an emotional memory, and your subconscious begins to act on it automatically. You'll find yourself making new choices without effort, attracting better circumstances, and responding to life as the new version of you. 8. Repetition without emotion is noise. You can repeat affirmations all day long, but without emotion, they're just words bouncing off the surface of your mind. Emotion gives your repetition power. It makes your subconscious pay attention. That's why children absorb information so quickly. They learn through emotion. Everything they experience is intense, new, and felt deeply. Adults, on the other hand, often operate on emotional autopilot. We think more than we feel. We analyze instead of imagine. And that's why change feels slow. To accelerate your reprogramming, return to emotional intensity. Awaken your imagination. Feel again. Believe again. Dream again. That's how you speak the language of your subconscious. 9. Your subconscious as an emotional servant. The subconscious is loyal. It obeys whatever emotions you feed it most consistently. Feed it fear, and it will build a life that keeps you small. Feed it faith, and it will rearrange your reality to match your confidence. You are always programming your subconscious. The only question is whether you're doing it consciously or not. So make a decision right now. You will no longer let random emotions dictate your direction. You will use repetition and emotion deliberately to create, not react. Each morning, start by feeding your mind the emotional blueprint of the person you're becoming. Each night, end your day by replaying the emotions of gratitude and success, and soon those feelings will no longer feel like imagination. They'll feel like memory, because that's when your subconscious has accepted them as truth. Final thought: repetition writes the code, emotion gives it power. Together they create transformation. If you master these two forces, if you learn to repeat what you choose to feel and feel what you choose to repeat, your subconscious will bend reality to your command. Success will no longer be something you chase. It will become something that unfolds naturally, a reflection of the emotional truth you've installed within yourself. The subconscious doesn't understand time, it doesn't care about effort, and it doesn't resist truth once it's felt. It only knows one language, the energy you live in every day. So live in the frequency of what you desire. Speak it, feel it, repeat it, until it becomes so familiar that the universe has no choice but to make it real.
Chapter 9. Visualization. Seeing the life before it arrives. Before anything exists in your outer world, it must first exist in your inner world. Every great invention, every masterpiece, every fortune, and every revolution began not with effort, but with imagination. What you can vividly see, you can eventually hold, and what you cannot yet see, you will never create. This is not philosophy. It's a principle of the subconscious mind. The subconscious does not know the difference between what is real and what is vividly imagined. It accepts both as truth. This is why visualization, the ability to see, feel, and live in the movie of your desired future, is one of the most powerful tools ever discovered for rewiring the subconscious and transforming your life. 1. The power of inner vision. Everything you want already exists in potential. The car, the house, the freedom, the confidence, the peace, they're all out there waiting for your inner alignment to draw them in. But to attract them, you must first see them. The mind works like a projector. Whatever image dominates your inner screen, the subconscious begins to construct in your outer experience. That's why people who focus on problems seem to attract more of them. They replay the movie of failure and expect a different ending. Meanwhile, visionaries, those who hold an unwavering mental picture of their goal, seem to move through life as if destiny itself is guiding their steps. They're not lucky, they're programmed. They have trained their subconscious to obey the movie they play inside their mind. 2. The science of visualization. When you imagine a future event vividly, your brain activates the same neural networks it would if you were actually living that event. This means the subconscious doesn't distinguish between imagination and reality. Professional athletes have proven this. Olympic runners visualize their races in detail, the sound of the crowd, the tension in their muscles, the smell of the track. Studies show that athletes who mentally rehearse with intensity improve almost as much as those who physically train. Your brain records emotional visualization as real experience. That's how you accelerate mastery. That's how you bypass years of hesitation. When you see it clearly enough, the subconscious begins to guide your body, your thoughts, and your actions toward that outcome automatically. The right way to visualize. Most people get visualization wrong. They close their eyes, see their goal, and immediately feel the lack of it. They imagine success, but focus on the fact that they don't have it yet. That sends a signal of scarcity, not creation.
True visualization is not about observing your future, it's about inhabiting it. Here's how to do it powerfully. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Calm your body. Imagine the version of yourself who already has the life you desire. Don't watch them, become them. See through their eyes, feel what they feel, walk through their environment. Hear their voice, steady, confident, certain. Feel gratitude, as if the dream already exists. Gratitude is the emotional proof your subconscious needs to accept the image as real. Hold the feeling for at least 5 minutes. The longer you hold the emotion, the deeper it embeds into your subconscious programming. That's it. 5 minutes of genuine embodied visualization can rewrite what years of effort could not. Because the subconscious doesn't obey time, it obeys emotional repetition. 4. Visualization and frequency. Your emotions emit a frequency, a vibration that influences both your mind and the world around you. When you visualize a goal while feeling desperation or lack, you vibrate on a frequency of wanting, and the subconscious keeps you in that state, always wanting. But when you visualize with calm confidence and gratitude, you vibrate on the frequency of having, and the subconscious moves you toward alignment with that version of reality. Visualization is therefore not just mental, it's vibrational. You're not just picturing your future, you're tuning yourself to it. When you tune your emotional state to match your desired outcome, your subconscious begins adjusting everything, your habits, your opportunities, your perceptions, until your outer world mirrors your inner movie. 5. The morning movie. There's a reason successful people start their day in stillness. They don't rush into their phones, their emails, or the chaos of the world. They begin by programming the scene. Each morning, before the noise begins, sit quietly for a few minutes. Close your eyes. Visualize your day unfolding perfectly, not with unrealistic fantasy, but with calm direction. See yourself executing tasks efficiently, handling conversations with confidence, responding to challenges with poise. Feel the satisfaction of being in control, grounded and powerful. You're not daydreaming, you're instructing your subconscious to align with that emotional blueprint. When you begin the day with this level of internal clarity, external distractions lose their power. The world begins to bend to your emotional command, because you are no longer reacting, you are directing. 6. The night rehearsal. Your subconscious is most active right before sleep. That's when the boundary between conscious and subconscious thins. The mind enters alpha and theta brainwave states, the same states used in hypnosis. Use this window wisely. Before you drift off, replay the mental movie of your desired life. Don't wish for it. Feel gratitude for it, as if tonight the world is already rearranging itself to make it real. Drift into sleep while living in that movie. Your subconscious will keep replaying it throughout the night, strengthening the emotional association, and when you wake, your day will already be infused with the energy of that vision. This simple practice, 5 minutes before sleep, can change your entire trajectory. 7. Living the vision. The ultimate goal is not to visualize once or twice a day, it's to live from your vision all day long. Hold the image of who you are becoming as your mental home base. Every decision, every action, every word should come from that identity. Ask yourself constantly, what would the future version of me do right now? That question connects you instantly to your subconscious blueprint. When you think, feel, and act as your higher self, long enough, consistently enough, your subconscious rewires itself to support that version of you. And then, life begins to mirror it naturally. 8. Why visualization works when nothing else does. Effort without alignment leads to frustration, but vision, sustained and emotionally charged, creates alignment first, so effort becomes effortless. Visualization bypasses doubt. It silences the logical mind and communicates directly with the subconscious. It replaces fear with familiarity, and that's the key. When your goal becomes emotionally familiar, your subconscious stops resisting it. You stop self-sabotaging because the new reality no longer feels foreign. It feels like home. That's why visualization works even when motivation fades. It turns your dream into a memory waiting to happen. 9. See it until it feels real. You don't need to know how your vision will come true. That's not your job. Your job is to see it until it feels real. When it feels real, your subconscious starts organizing the steps, ideas, people, and chances required to make it so. That's the invisible magic behind the success stories of those who always seem to attract the right things. They're not lucky, they're living inside their vision long before it arrives. So see it, feel it, trust it, and walk as if it's already done, because in the subconscious realm, the realm of creation, it already is. 10. The visionary's creed: hold the picture of your future more firmly than the evidence of your past. When life throws doubt your way, return to your mental movie. When obstacles arise, replay your scene of victory. The subconscious doesn't care what's happening now. It only responds to the image you feed it most consistently. Feed it greatness, feed it peace, feed it abundance, and soon your reality will catch up to your vision, not because you forced it, but because you believed it so deeply that your subconscious had no choice but to make it true. Final note: the power to visualize is the power to command reality. The moment you learn to see your success before it happens, you stop chasing and start creating. Every great life begins in the imagination, in the quiet certainty that what you see within will soon become what you see without. So don't wait to believe it when you see it. Believe it until you see it.
Chapter 10. Living in Permanent Alignment. By now, you've discovered that success isn't a one-time event. It's a state of being. It's not something you achieve and then maintain through effort alone. It's something you become through alignment. True mastery of the subconscious mind is not about constant struggle to stay positive, nor about temporary motivation that fades when life gets hard. It's about living in harmony with the energy, beliefs, and intentions that continuously move you toward the life you've designed in your mind. The people who seem lucky aren't operating under luck at all. They're in alignment. They think, feel, and act from a place of wholeness. They trust the process. Their subconscious is not in conflict with their conscious goals. They don't sabotage themselves. Their inner dialogue matches their outer ambition. That's what alignment truly means. No internal resistance. To live in permanent alignment, you must train your subconscious to see success as your natural state, not an exception, not a rare occurrence, but your baseline. You no longer hope to be confident. You are confident. You don't try to make money. You expect wealth to flow through your creativity and service. You don't chase love or recognition. You embody it, and it mirrors back to you through people and circumstances. But this doesn't happen by accident. It requires constant awareness, a conscious partnership between your thinking mind and your deeper mind. The moment you wake up each morning, you're either stepping into alignment or falling into old programming. Your thoughts set the tone for the day. That's why the most successful people guard their mornings fiercely. They prime their subconscious before the world can influence it. Here's a simple ritual that solidifies your alignment each day. Gratitude reset. Before touching your phone, take 2 minutes to name 5 things you're grateful for. Gratitude is the fastest way to shift your subconscious vibration. It programs your mind to expect good. Identity affirmation. Speak to yourself from your desired identity. Say, I am focused, I am calm, I am unstoppable, and I attract the right people and opportunities every day. Feel it. Don't say it with doubt. Say it with conviction. Vision preview. Close your eyes and see your ideal day unfold. See yourself executing tasks with precision, speaking confidently, and receiving good news. Let your subconscious feel the emotional reality of that day before it happens. This combination activates your reticular activating system, the part of your brain that filters reality to match your inner beliefs. You start seeing things that confirm your expectations and ignoring what doesn't align. Over time, your environment adjusts to your vibration. People who used to drain you naturally drift away. Opportunities that resonate with your purpose show up more often. This is not coincidence. It's neuroplasticity in motion. Now, alignment also requires emotional management. You cannot stay in flow while carrying emotional chaos. Every negative emotion, anger, resentment, guilt, creates distortion in your frequency. These emotions block your subconscious from receiving clear instructions. When you feel stuck, don't force yourself to be positive. Instead, process the emotion. Sit with it, breathe, and ask what it's trying to teach you. The moment you accept it fully, it loses power over you. The truth is, your subconscious doesn't respond to words. It responds to consistency. You cannot say one thing and feel another and expect transformation. The subconscious listens to your emotional tone, so even when life gets hard, stay emotionally aligned with your vision. Speak life, even when it's inconvenient. When you understand this, you'll realize that every external challenge is simply feedback from your inner programming. Your results, good or bad, are mirrors of your subconscious beliefs. That's not punishment, that's guidance. It's your mind showing you what needs to be reprogrammed next. Every time you shift your inner dialogue from fear to faith, your subconscious records it. Every time you choose calm instead of panic, clarity instead of confusion, focus instead of frustration, you are rewriting your mental code. You are becoming someone who naturally attracts peace, progress, and prosperity. Remember, your subconscious doesn't rush. It works with rhythm, not urgency. The change might feel invisible for a while, but it's happening beneath the surface. Just like roots growing before a tree appears, your mental rewiring takes time. Keep planting powerful thoughts, and your external reality will soon reflect the internal transformation. And when that happens, when your outer life starts echoing your inner beliefs, you will finally understand what it means to live in permanent alignment. You'll no longer try to manifest success. You'll simply express it. You'll no longer push against life. You'll flow with it. You'll realize that success was never something to chase. It was always something to remember. You were born aligned, powerful, limitless. Your conditioning simply made you forget. Now, through awareness and reprogramming, you've come full circle. You're back in control of the greatest machine in existence, your mind. If this audiobook has sparked a shift within you, don't let it fade. The subconscious mind learns through repetition and emotion. Revisit these chapters daily. Practice the rituals. Guard your thoughts like treasure, because they are. And remember, the greatest transformation happens not when you listen once, but when you live it daily. From this day forward, walk like someone who knows that success isn't something to achieve, it's something you are. Welcome to your new reality.